Hey guys, so as a lot of you know, I work in the mental health field, and as you guys also know, this year has not been the greatest, and a lot of people have been telling me that they are really struggling with stress and anxiety this year. So I thought, as a mental health professional, that I could maybe give you guys some coping skills, some basic coping skills that you guys can start using to start helping with that stress and anxiety. I always start with three basics when I start working with people. Number one, I always start with focused breathing. When we get anxious or we get stressed, a common thing that happens is your mind starts racing, your heart rate quickens, you get very jittery. That's common with stress and anxiety. So, focused breathing is so important when it comes to calming yourself down. Have you ever heard people say to you, just breathe? It comes from a good place because it really does help if you do it correctly and if you know how to do it properly. So, I always work on two focused breathing exercises with people. Number one is you breathe in through your nose for 6 seconds. You count in your head too. Counting in your head is important because counting helps distract your mind so you don't have to worry about or think about the thing that's causing you anxiety or stress. So you'll breathe in through your nose for 6 seconds and count in your head, hold your breath for 2, and breathe out through your mouth for 6 seconds. What this does is, like I said, it distracts your mind, but it also calms your body, lowers your blood pressure, lowers your heart rate. It just relaxes you. Equal regulated breaths really help. Another one, if you don't want to hold your breath, if you don't want to think about nose or mouth, you can just do 7 seconds in and count in your head, 7 seconds out. It really helps. Focused breathing is going to be huge because it allows you to give yourself a second just to step back, disconnect for a second from what's causing you those feelings, and just to reassess after you've calmed yourself down. So it's really huge. If you can do that and practice it, whether it's daily, whether it's when you need it, it's really going to implement that strategy to help calm you down once you start practicing it, instead of just instinctively freaking out. It's going to give you that, oh, I can do this instead. Number two, positive thinking exercises. It sounds simple and easy, but it's really effective. If you can train your brain to look for positives in negative situations, it's going to be huge. I always have people start with connecting positives to the ends of negatives. Today sucks, but at least this thing happened. If you can train yourself to do this, it's going to be huge. It's really going to help lower your stress. It's going to lower your anxiety. It's going to make you more optimistic and just more positive in general. I always have people, every single session, I ask them, what are 3 positives that have happened since I saw you last? And it trains you to look for positives every single day. Every single day, something positive happens. If you sit there and think nothing positive happened today, you're not thinking hard enough. It can be big or small. Someone smiled at me today. I had food to eat. I had electricity. My car worked today. I had clothes to wear. Just look at those things, and it's really going to help you change your perspective on life because it's going to make it just not as bad. And that's really going to help, which I said perspective. So that leads into number 3, perspective changing. Perspective is huge when it comes to dealing with stress and anxiety. If you can change your perspective, the way you're looking at something, put a more positive light on something in a negative situation, it's going to help so much. Instead of saying, for example, I hate the way I look. That doesn't really give you anything to do. You can't work with that. I always say if what you say to yourself or about a situation is not constructive, reword it. You need to reword it. Instead of saying, I hate myself, you could say, I would like to lose weight. Okay, well, if you want to lose weight, how much by what date? If you set goals for yourself, if you make it obtainable, it's constructive, you can actually do it, it's achievable, that's how you're going to combat that part of the stress and anxiety. It's all about the perspective of how you look at something. It's about how you word it to yourself and about a situation. It's very, very important to be able to change between perspectives on a certain situation. So those are the 3 that I always start with when I'm working with people. I think that they're very important. I think they're good basics. I always have them visualize. Visualization is another one that I'll cover in future sessions. But I think that starting with those, that's a good foundation to start building upon other ones and to deepen those into other ones. Focused breathing can deepen into meditation. Perspective changing can lead into ideation and all of these other things. So it's very, very important just to master one at a time, because if I threw 20 at you, it would not be very effective. It's just very important to take baby steps and progress. It's not about perfection. It's about practicing them and incorporating them into your daily routine. And because the more you practice them, the more they're going to become second nature. It's about rewiring your brain, because if you don't have these at your disposal, your brain's just going to jump into instinct mode And that's what freak out mode usually is. And so if you can start implementing these instead, your body's gonna be like, oh, I can do that instead of freaking out. So it's very, very important to just practice them, even if you don't feel like you need them in that moment, because if you practice them daily, your body's gonna just have them and it's gonna be natural to use them. So if you liked this video, then let me know and I will make more. And if you want me to dive even deeper into these, just let me know. But yeah, I'm gonna start posting more mental health videos, and I think it's very important, especially during this year, to focus on self-care, which is gonna be another one I talk about. And just taking care of yourself, and mental health is a big part of that. So yeah, thanks, and thanks for listening.